We have Hilton Beckman, Communications Director for the America First Policy Institute, also a former media advisor in the Trump White House, and Raj Goyle, Democratic strategist and former Kansas State representative. Welcome, both of you. Glad to have you on the show. Hilton, we'll start with you tonight. First of all, with this latest poll, Harris seeing the 7-point lead over Trump nationally, does this RFK endorsement make a dent at all?
Oh, I think it will 100%. When you look at RFK, his polling right before Joe Biden dropped out, it was in the double digits. Okay, so we have about 5% now with RFK. And with it being such a razor tight race, I think this 5% is going to go for Trump. I think these are the very common sense minded Democrats that don't want a Kamala Harris administration, where we don't want to go back to the taxes and the inflation and the non-border security that we've been seeing for the past 3.5 years. So I think we'll see a swing in Donald Trump's direction.
Raj, I want to bring you in on this. Is that how this works? That 5% is what you can immediately tack on to Trump's gain?
Well, thanks for having me. Look, here's what I would say. I've been on the ballot 3 times myself. I'm actually not so worried about these polls. They're going to go up, they're going to go down, and it's a truism in politics, which is the only poll that matters is election day. I know the Harris-Walz ticket. It doesn't matter if those polls show us up 15 or down 10. We're running through the tape, and that's what's really important. We have never had a campaign cycle like this ever. Such a short sprint, less than 75 days to go till election day. I don't think the Robert Kennedy endorsement really affects the race fundamentally. I think it's a nothing burger. And I think what really is going to come down to September 10th is obviously a big day. And I'm very excited for the country to see, look how well they've responded to Kamala Harris in the last 35 days. And I think they're going to fall even more in line with her vision for the future after they see her debate and take down Donald Trump on September 10th.
Raj, I want to stay with you for just a moment, because you're absolutely right. This is such a sprint that we're in this moment. We just heard Trump recently trying to downplay the Harris momentum in the polls. Let's take a quick listen all together.
Polls show that she's having some success in that at this point. So what are you going to do? What's your strategy to rebuild the momentum that you had with those voters?
No, she's not having success. I'm having success. I'm doing great with the Hispanic voters. I'm doing great with black men. I'm doing great with women, because women want safety. They want safety. We're doing very well in the polls. We're leading in most of the polls. And in the swing states, we're leading in almost every one of them.
Raj, in just about 20 seconds, is Trump right, or is he at least publicly underestimating the enthusiasm that Harris is seeing?
Trump's in Donald Trump's fantasy world. Of course, Kamala Harris has a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, but at the same time, as I said before, the only poll that matters is election day. We are got to work our tails off to make sure it's going to be a topsy-turvy next 75 days. And so we don't really know what will happen, but I guarantee you this. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are the ones laying out a vision for this country and what the next 4 years represent. And I think this country is going to flock to their vision much more than going back to the divisiveness of Donald Trump.
Hilton, the Trump campaign also saying that the, quote, Harris honeymoon is coming to an end, that poll numbers will soon level out. The sugar high, I think, as Vance was saying, will crash. How do you see Trump leveling out these numbers in the weeks ahead? How would you advise him in this moment?
Just to keep talking about policy, because Kamala Harris refuses to. And when she does, the one time she does when it comes to the economy, both Republicans and Democrats and the media panned her for it, saying it would liken our economy to something from Venezuela. If Trump just keeps on track, he has the track record that Americans want. 2/3 of Americans right now are saying that America's going down the wrong road and that they trust Donald Trump when it comes to our border security and when it comes to our economy. If he just keeps on that track and remind people that Kamala Harris has been in office for the past 3.5 years, and the things that she's complaining about are the things that she made happen, we're going to do well in November.
I think, to your point, both sides want to hear more about policy from these candidates. Absolutely. And Raj, I do want to get your insight into this, because Harris is doing well in several key swing states right now, really neck and neck with Trump in many of these. She's also doing well in some red states. I know you were elected as a Democrat in traditionally red Kansas. How is Harris's message getting across in those states as far as you can see?
Yeah, it's a great question. I have to say just quickly about the sugar high. One thing I told the New York Post is I got to find the lab that makes this sugar, because, you know, it's been going for 35 days, shows no signs of slowing down. So this is the most potent sugar, I think, that has ever been created.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.